Before we start, hit that subscribe button. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Montana, 1998, Carter Caves. 6-man Recon team entered unexplored cave system. Radio transmission came through before they'd sent it. Their own voices, their own words, saying things they hadn't said yet, warning things they hadn't experienced yet, reporting dangers they hadn't encountered yet. The message was clear. We're already here. Don't come in. We're dead. All of us. You'll find our bodies 2 kilometers in. You'll send this message. You'll die trying to warn yourselves. You're us. We're you. The cave loops time. Turn back. They didn't turn back. They continued. They found the bodies. 6 corpses. 6 members of Recon team. 6 versions of themselves dead in cave 2 kilometers in. Dead from causes they couldn't identify. Dead in positions that suggested they'd been trying to escape. Dead with radios still transmitting. Still broadcasting. Still sending warnings back through time to versions of themselves who hadn't entered yet. Who were still outside. Who were still alive. Who were still them before becoming corpses that would warn future versions who would become corpses who would warn future versions forever. Forever loop. Forever dying. Forever warning selves who never listen. Who never turn back. Who never escape because escape means not entering. And not entering means not finding bodies. And not finding bodies means not sending warning. And not sending warning means entering, and entering means finding bodies. Loop, circle, eternal return to same deaths, same warnings, same failure to prevent what's already happened, what's always happened. What will always happen because it's happening now. It happened before. It will happen again. Same team, same cave, same deaths, same loop, forever. You ever hear yourself speak before speaking? Hear your words before saying them? Hear your voice transmitting messages you haven't sent yet? Hear yourself warning yourself about things you haven't experienced yet, but will experience because you heard yourself warn yourself, which means you already experienced them in future. That's already happened, which means future is past, is present, is all the same time in cave that loops, that circles. That makes then and now and next all simultaneous, all occurring together, all existing at once in space where time doesn't flow forward, doesn't flow backward, just exists. All of it, every moment, every version, every iteration of team entering and finding bodies and dying and sending warnings that arrive before sending them, because the cave doesn't care about causality, doesn't follow sequence, doesn't respect order of events that should go past, present, future, but go all at once always in cave that loops time like it loops space, like it loops everything, including death, including warnings, including us. My name is Specialist Marcus Chen. I'm 59 years old. I hear myself on the radio every day. Same message, same warning, same voice that's mine but not mine because it's me from when I died in the cave. Me from version that didn't escape. Me from iteration that looped and died and sent warning that I heard and ignored and entered anyway and became the version that died and sent warning. Except I didn't die. I escaped. I'm the version that broke loop, that survived, that made it out. But the message still transmits, still broadcasts, still warns even though I'm alive, still says I'm dead even though I'm here, still plays recording of me dying even though I didn't die, because in the cave I did die. In the cave, I'm still dying. In the cave, every version of me that entered died and one version escaped. But all versions exist simultaneously, so I'm dead and alive, deceased and surviving, gone and here, all at once, forever, because the cave loops time and time doesn't end when you escape time, doesn't stop when you leave loop, just continues, just persists, just keeps playing all versions, all moments, all deaths, all warnings, all everything forever, simultaneously, eternally, infinitely. This was September 1998. Montana, Carter Caves System, newly discovered, unexplored, unknown, perfect for military recon, for mapping, for evaluating tactical value, for determining if cave system offered strategic advantage, standard mission, routine assignment, 6-man team, experienced soldiers, cave-trained, rope-certified, navigation experts, everything you need for underground recon, everything except protection from time loops, defense against causality violations, escape from caves that make future happen before present, that make deaths occur before entering, that make warnings arrive before danger, that make everything happen simultaneously in space that doesn't respect when, doesn't acknowledge sequence, doesn't follow rules about what happens first and what happens next and what happens last. Because in the cave, nothing happens first or next or last. Everything happens always. Everything happens now. Everything happens forever in present that contains all past and all future and all moments collapsed into single eternal instant where 6 soldiers enter and find bodies and die and send warnings and enter and find bodies and die forever. Always. Now. The cave entrance was standard. Natural formation. Limestone. Water carved. Millions of years old. Stable, safe, everything normal, everything expected, everything indicating normal cave system with normal geology and normal physics and normal time that flows forward 1 second per second, 1 minute per minute, 1 hour per hour. Linear, sequential, causal, past before present before future. No loops, no circles, no simultaneity. Just normal progression of moments following each other in order that makes sense, that follows rules, that respects causality. We entered at 900, 6 soldiers, myself, Sergeant David Martinez, Corporal James Wilson, Specialist Robert Taylor, Private First Class Michael Anderson, Private Thomas Wright. Good team. Experienced. Professional. We'd done cave recons before, done dozens of them. This was routine, standard, safe. Just map the cave, document features, report findings, exit. Simple mission, easy assignment. Nothing dangerous, nothing complicated, nothing that suggested we'd encounter time loops. Find our own corpses, hear our own warnings from future. Die trying to escape deaths we'd already died, already experienced, already transmitted warnings about to versions of ourselves who would ignore warnings and enter and die and send warnings to versions who would ignore and enter and die forever in loop that never breaks, never stops, never releases those who enter because entering means looping, and looping means always entering, always dying, always warning, always being in cave forever, regardless of whether you physically escape, because escape doesn't end loop, doesn't stop transmission, doesn't prevent you from being dead in cave even when you're alive outside cave, because the cave exists outside normal time, and in the cave you're always there, always dying, always all versions simultaneously. The radio transmission came at 9:30, 30 minutes after entering. We were 1 kilometer in. Standard progress, normal mapping, everything routine. Then the radio activated. Our frequency, our call sign, our encryption, message incoming, from base, from command, from us. My voice came through speaker. My exact voice, my speech patterns, my cadence, my everything. But saying things I hadn't said, reporting things I hadn't experienced, warning about things I hadn't encountered. The message was clear. Direct, urgent, desperate. Alpha Team, this is Alpha Team. Do not proceed. Repeat, do not proceed. Turn back immediately. We're already here. We're already dead. You'll find our bodies at 2-kilometer mark. 6 bodies, 6 members of Alpha Team. You're us. We're you. The cave loops time. Events happen before they happen. Future occurs before present. We're transmitting from ahead, from after, from when we're dead. Turn back now. Don't become us. Don't die trying to warn yourselves. Break the loop. Exit the cave. Don't. Transmission cut off. Silence. Static. Nothing. Just empty channel where warning had been. Where my voice had been. Where I had been telling myself not to enter cave I was already in. Not to proceed deeper into cave I was already proceeding into. Not to become dead version of myself that was already dead and transmitting and warning from future that hadn't happened yet but had happened because I was hearing it happen, which meant it already occurred, which meant I was already dead, which meant loop, circle, causality violation, time not working right, sequence not working right. Everything not working right in cave that didn't follow rules about when things happen and what order they happen in. This is where most people make their first mistake. This is where logic fails. Because logic says if you hear warning from future telling you you're dead, you turn back. You exit. You avoid future by not proceeding toward it. You break causality by choosing different path. By doing opposite of what dead version did, by surviving instead of dying. Simple, obvious, logical. But the message said we were already there, already dead, already 2 kilometers in, which meant we'd already proceeded, already ignored warning, already continued despite message, which meant turning back meant breaking loop, but breaking loop meant not proceeding, which meant not dying, which meant not sending warning, which meant not receiving warning, which meant not turning back, which meant proceeding, which meant dying, which meant sending warning, which meant receiving warning, which meant turning back, which meant loop, circle, paradox. No way out that doesn't create contradiction, no choice that doesn't violate causality, no path that makes sense when future affects past effects, future affects past forever. Martinez suggested we turn back. Suggested we exit, suggested we trust the warning, trust ourselves, trust that if future version of us was desperate enough to send warning, we should listen, should retreat, should avoid whatever killed us ahead, whatever made us send desperate transmission, whatever created loop we were trapped in. Wilson disagreed. Said message could be fake, could be enemy transmission, could be psychological warfare, could be tricked to make us abort mission, could be anything except actual time loop because time loops don't exist, don't happen, don't occur in real caves, in real Montana, in real 1998 where physics works normally and time flows forward and messages don't arrive from future. Rational explanation existed, had to exist. Message was compromised comms, equipment malfunction, deliberate deception, something, anything. Everything except actual causality violation. Taylor pointed out that voice was perfect match. Too perfect for fake. Too exact for imitation. Voice analysis would confirm, but analysis wasn't necessary because we could hear, could recognize, could identify that voice was mine. Exactly mine. Not similar, not close, not good imitation. Mine. My voice, my speech, my patterns, me talking, me warning, me transmitting from future where I was dead, where we all were dead, where we'd proceeded despite warning and died and sent warning that we were now receiving and debating and preparing to ignore, preparing to proceed despite, preparing to become dead versions, preparing to fulfill loop, preparing to make future happen that already happened, that we were hearing happen that would happen because we would proceed. Because we always proceeded, because the loop ensured we proceeded, because that's what loops do. They loop. They circle. They return. They repeat. Forever. Always. Now. Anderson suggested we split up. Send 3 back. Send 3 forward. Hedge bets. If forward team dies, back team survives. If forward team survives, mission succeeds. Compromise between retreat and advance. Balanced approach. Cautious progress. Except splitting means some proceed and some don't, and message said all 6 dead. So all 6 must proceed. So splitting breaks loop. But breaking loop creates paradox. But paradox might break loop. But breaking loop requires creating paradox. But creating paradox requires breaking loop. And circle. Loop. Infinite regression. No solution. No answer. No way out that doesn't require being both in and out simultaneously. Both proceeding and retreating. Both dead and alive. Both past and future. Both all versions at once, which is what the cave makes you. Makes you become. Makes you exist as when it loops. When it circles. When it makes time simultaneous. Wright suggested we proceed carefully. Suggested we continue but watch for dangers. Suggested we could avoid whatever killed future versions by being careful, by being prepared, by being ready for whatever they weren't ready for. Except they were us. They knew what we knew. They had same training, same equipment, same preparation. They were careful too. Were prepared too. Were ready too. And they died anyway. Died despite being us with same advantages, same skills, same everything. Which meant being careful wouldn't help. Being prepared wouldn't save. Being ready wouldn't prevent, because whatever killed us didn't care about preparation, didn't care about readiness, didn't care about anything, except making us dead in future that already happened. That we were proceeding toward that would happen because it already happened, because the loop ensured it happened, because loops don't break just because you know about them, just because you're warned, just because you try avoiding. They break when causality breaks, and causality breaks when you do impossible, and impossible is surviving when you're already dead ahead. We proceeded. Don't know why. Couldn't help it. Drawn forward. Compelled forward. Pulled toward 2-kilometer mark where bodies waited. Where we waited. Where we were dead, waiting for ourselves to arrive and find ourselves and become ourselves and send warning back to ourselves, who would proceed forward to find ourselves dead. Loop closing. Circle completing. Causality fulfilling. Future becoming present. Becoming past becoming. Future becoming all at once. Always in cave that looped time, like it looped space, like it looped everything, including us. Especially us. Forever us. Always us. Now, us dying ahead, while proceeding toward death, while alive, before death, while all versions, simultaneous in cave that contained all moments, all times, all iterations of Alpha Team entering and dying and warning and entering forever. The bodies were at 2-kilometer mark, exactly where message said. 6 corpses, 6 members of Alpha Team, 6 versions of us, exact versions, perfect matches, same gear, same uniforms, same faces, same everything except alive versus dead, present versus future. Now versus then versus all at once, because they were us and we were them, and both existed simultaneously in cave that made when meaningless, made sequence irrelevant, made causality circular instead of linear, made everything happen together always now. My corpse was first, lying on back, eyes open, staring at ceiling, expression of horror, of understanding, of realization that loop was real, that warning was real, that death was inevitable, that I would become this, would be this, would exist as this dead version while also existing as living version that found dead version that would become dead version that would be found by next version that would become dead version forever. The corpse was me, exact me, down to small scar on left hand, down to specific way my jaw set, down to everything that made me identifiable as me, but dead, but in future, but waiting here at 2-kilometer mark for me to arrive and find me and understand me and become me. The corpse had been dead approximately 6 hours. Medical estimation, professional assessment. 6 hours deceased, which meant corpse died at 1500 this afternoon, which meant corpse hadn't died yet, which meant corpse would die 6 hours from now, which meant corpse was future me, was me from 6 hours ahead, was me from after proceeding past 2-kilometer mark toward whatever killed me at 1500 after finding myself dead at 2-kilometer mark at 10:30, which was now. Loop, time compression, future existing before present, death occurring before life, effect preceding cause, causality violation, everything wrong, everything backwards, everything simultaneous in cave that didn't respect when. Martinez's corpse was next to mine, also dead 6 hours, also positioned like he'd been trying to escape, also wearing expression of horror and understanding and realization, also exact match for Martinez standing next to me looking at Martinez lying dead next to me looking at both Martinez's being same Martinez at different. When's made simultaneous by cave. Wilson, Taylor, Anderson, Wright. All present, all dead, all 6 hours deceased, all exact matches, all positioned like they'd been escaping, all wearing same expression of horror, of understanding, of realization, all versions of us from 6 hours ahead, from future that hadn't occurred, from deaths we hadn't experienced, from loop we were trapped in, from cave that made us exist in multiple times simultaneously, made us dead ahead while alive now, while both real, while both present, while both actual in space that contained all moments together always. The radios on the corpses were transmitting, all 6, broadcasting, sending message, the warning, the transmission we'd received 30 minutes ago, the message that came from future, that arrived before sending, that warned us not to proceed, that told us we were already dead, that explained loop, that begged us to turn back. The corpses were broadcasting live, were transmitting now, were sending warning back through time to versions of ourselves at 1-kilometer mark who were us 30 minutes ago, who were receiving message from corpses who were us 6 hours ahead, who were warning versions, who were us now finding corpses, who were us later all existing simultaneously in cave that made all times present, all moments now, all versions real. And we understood the loop, understood the trap, understood that proceeding had made us find ourselves dead, which meant we would die in 6 hours, which meant we were already dead ahead, waiting for ourselves to arrive at 1500 and die, and add our corpses to pile of corpses that were also us from other times, other iterations, other entries into cave that looped, that circled, that made every entry, every team, every version die at 1,500 and lie at 2-kilometer mark and transmit warnings that wouldn't work, because warnings created loop, that ensured dying, that created warnings that created loop, forever. This is the moment everything changed. This is when understanding arrived. This is when we realized we couldn't proceed, couldn't continue toward 1500, couldn't move forward toward deaths we'd already seen, already found, already understood. We had to retreat, had to exit, had to break loop by doing opposite of what dead versions did, by surviving instead of dying, by leaving instead of proceeding, by making choice that prevented future instead of fulfilling future, by breaking causality, even if breaking created paradox, because paradox was better than loop. Paradox was better than dying. Paradox was better than becoming corpses that warned future versions who became corpses forever. We turned back. All 6. Unanimous decision. Immediate retreat. Fast exit. Running from cave that looped time. Running from future that showed our deaths. Running from corpses that were us. Running from loop that we wouldn't fulfill, that we wouldn't complete, that we would break by exiting, by surviving, by not being at 1500 location where we died, by not becoming corpses at 2-kilometer mark, by not sending warnings from future, by breaking causality, by creating paradox, by surviving impossibility. We made it 100 meters, 100 meters of retreat, 100 meters toward exit, 100 meters toward safety. Then the cave changed, shifted, rearranged. The path wasn't right, wasn't same path we'd entered on, wasn't leading toward entrance, was leading deeper, further, toward 1500 location despite walking away from 1500 location, toward future despite retreating from future, toward deaths despite fleeing deaths. The cave looped space now, made forward backward, made retreat advance, made exiting entering, made escape impossible because you couldn't leave cave that made all directions lead deeper, that made all paths lead to 1500, that made all choices lead to deaths at 2-kilometer mark regardless of which way you walked, which direction you chose, which path you took. All led same place, all led to dying, all led to loop completion. All led to fulfilling future by becoming corpses that warned past, that became corpses that warned past forever. Taylor suggested marking path, creating breadcrumbs, following marks back, using navigation tools to track exit route. Except marks disappeared, reappeared elsewhere, led in circles, led deeper, led to 1,500 location regardless of what path we followed. Regardless of what marks we made, regardless of how carefully we navigated because the cave didn't respect navigation, didn't respect marks, didn't respect attempts to track direction when direction didn't exist, when all directions were same direction, when all paths led to same place, when all choices led to same time, same deaths, same loop, same becoming corpses forever. Anderson tried radio, tried calling base, tried requesting extraction, tried getting help from outside. Radio worked, transmission sent, message received. But response was strange. Base confirmed receiving transmission, confirmed hearing Anderson, confirmed message content. But base said they'd already received this transmission. Said Anderson already called, said Anderson already requested extraction, said they'd already deployed rescue team, said rescue team was en route, said rescue team would arrive at 1500, at same time we died, at exact moment we became corpses, at exact when that the loop required, at exact instant that made everything happen together, made rescue arrive when we were dead, made help come when help was impossible, made extraction occur when there was nothing to extract except corpses, except bodies, except versions of ourselves that had already become dead and remained dead, and would always be dead at 1500 at 2-kilometer mark in cave that looped. The rescue team's voices came through radio. Familiar voices. Our voices. 6 voices. Alpha team voices. Our team calling our team, reporting that they'd found bodies, reporting that the bodies were Alpha team, reporting that the dead were us, reporting everything we'd already reported after finding our own corpses. Loop within loop. Team finding. Team finding. Team finding. Team. Infinite regression. Infinite versions. All finding, Previous versions. All dead, all at 2-kilometer mark, all transmitting, all warning, all creating loop that fed itself, that perpetuated itself, that made itself eternal by making every rescue become next iteration of dead team, every extract team become next set of corpses, every attempt to help become next loop completion. Forever. Always. Now. Wilson started aging. Not normal aging. Accelerated aging. Rapid aging. Decades in minutes. His hair whitened, his skin wrinkled, his body deteriorated. He was experiencing all iterations, all times, all versions simultaneously. He was aging through every loop, every entry, every death, experiencing all of them at once. Hundreds of entries, hundreds of deaths, hundreds of versions of himself, all aging, all dying, all existing in same body and same moment in cave that made all times simultaneous. He collapsed, died, aged to death in minutes from experiencing centuries of iterations, centuries of loops, centuries of being Alpha Team member who entered and found bodies and died and warned. First death, first of 6, first of current iteration, first step toward fulfilling loop, toward becoming corpses, toward completing cycle. Taylor tried destroying the corpses, tried removing them, tried making it impossible for future versions to find bodies because if bodies weren't there, then future was changed, and if future was changed, then loop was broken, and if loop was broken, then we survived. He moved corpses, dragged them, removed them from 2-kilometer mark, hid them elsewhere, made it impossible for next iteration to find them at expected location, made it impossible for loop to complete normally, made it impossible for everything to happen as it always happened, except corpses returned, reappeared at 2-kilometer mark. Exact positions, exact arrangements, exact everything as before moving them. The cave restored them, reset them, made them be where loop required them being, made future unchangeable, made past immutable, made everything fixed, made all iterations identical, made loop perfect, made circle complete, made escape impossible because changing anything changed nothing, because the cave corrected changes, restored what was altered, maintained what was required, kept loop looping, kept circle circling, kept time locked in eternal return to same events, same deaths, same everything forever. Anderson tried staying at 2-kilometer mark, tried not proceeding toward 1,500 location, tried remaining at corpse location where he could see future, could monitor deaths, could avoid dying by avoiding location where dying occurred. Except time pulled him, dragged him, moved him toward 1,500 without him walking, without him choosing, without him proceeding voluntarily. The cave moved him, transported him, relocated him to where loop required him being, to where death occurred, to where 1,500 happened. He resisted, he fought, he tried stopping, tried anchoring, tried remaining, but resistance was futile, fighting was useless. Remaining was impossible. The cave needed him at 1,500. The loop required him at 1,500. The time demanded him at 1,500. And caves that loop time don't ask permission. Don't accept refusal. Don't allow deviation from what must happen to make loop complete, to make circle closed, to make causality circular instead of linear. He was moved, was transported, was relocated, and at 1,500, he died. Died at required time in required location for required loop completion. Third death. Third of 6. 3 more remaining. 3 more required. 3 more inevitable in cave that demanded all 6 die to maintain loop, to preserve circle, to keep time locked in eternal, simultaneous now where all versions existed together forever. Martinez and Wright died together, tried escaping together, tried fighting together, tried surviving together, died together. At 1500, at required location, in required manner, both adding corpses to collection at 2-kilometer mark, both fulfilling loop requirements, both completing iteration, both becoming versions that would warn future versions, that would ignore warnings, that would find bodies, that would die, that would become bodies, that would be found forever. 4 dead, 2 remaining, me and me. Because when Wilson died, another me appeared. Another version, another iteration. Another Marcus Chen from another entry from another time made simultaneous by Cave. 2 of me now. Present me and other time me, both real, both alive, both proceeding toward 1500 where one would die and one would remain, survive, continue, or both die. Both become corpses, both add to collection, both fulfill loop completely. The other me was older, not aged like Wilson, just older, from years ahead, from future entry, from iteration years later where I entered again, where I tried again, where I attempted breaking loop again. He knew things I didn't know yet, knew future I hadn't experienced, knew iterations I hadn't lived, knew dying I hadn't died. He looked at me. Recognition, understanding, sympathy, horror. He was me from after today, from after escaping, from after surviving, from after thinking I broke loop. He was me from when I discovered loop doesn't break, discovered survival doesn't end it, discovered escaping doesn't free you, discovered cave keeps you forever even when you leave, keeps you returning, keeps you entering, keeps you dying in iterations that span decades, that cover lifetimes, that never end because loops don't end, just repeat, just circle, just bring you back. Again, again, again. Forever. He spoke, told me things, warned me, explained loop, explained how it worked, explained that escaping didn't matter, that surviving didn't help, that leaving just meant returning, meant entering again years later, meant dying in different iteration, meant being in cave forever across all times because cave existed outside time, and once you entered you were always in cave somewhere. When in some iteration dying, sending warnings, finding bodies, being bodies, becoming warnings, forever simultaneously, eternally. We reached 1,500 location together, both me, present me and future me, young me and older me, first iteration me and later iteration me, the death location, the required place, the spot where loop demanded dying, where causality required corpse addition, where time insisted on fulfillment. It was nothing special, just cave chamber, just empty space, just location, nothing dangerous visible, nothing threatening present, nothing indicating death, just place where death happened because loop required death happening here now at this time in this location for these people in this iteration, like all iterations before, like all iterations after forever. Future me died first, died exact way, all versions died, died fulfilling loop from his iteration, died adding corpse to his 2-kilometer mark in his timeline, in his entry in his version of cave that existed simultaneously with mine. He died and vanished. Removed to his when, removed to his corpse pile, removed to his loop completion, leaving me, alone me, final me, last me, sole survivor me, only one remaining from my iteration who hadn't died yet, who would die now, who would die at required time in required place, in required manner, to complete required loop, to make required circle to ensure required future that was already past, that was already now, that was already forever. I didn't die, couldn't die, refused to die, wouldn't fulfill loop, wouldn't complete circle, wouldn't become corpse at 2-kilometer mark, wouldn't send warning to past me, wouldn't create loop that brought me here, wouldn't participate in causality violation that trapped me. I stayed at 1,500 past 1,500, survived past death time, remained alive past required dying, broke loop by not dying, by not becoming corpse, by not adding body to collection, by not completing iteration, by not fulfilling future that was already past, that was already now, that required me dead to make sense, to make circle, to make loop. I broke it, refused it, survived past when I should have died, past moment I was required, dead past time, loop demanded my death. I survived. I won. I escaped. I broke free. I remained in cave, remained at 1,500, remained alive at death location past death time, remained existing when I should have been corpse, remained being when I should have been was, remained me when I should have been past me, remained loop breaker, remained survivor, remained proof that causality could be violated, that loops could be broken, that futures weren't inevitable, that deaths weren't required, that I could live past when I was supposed to die. I remained. I survived. I stayed alive. Past 1,500. Past death time. Past loop requirement. I won. I survived. I broke free from cave that trapped time. I escaped loop that killed everyone. I survived impossible. I did impossible. I broke time by surviving when time said die. I won. I remained forever. Because breaking loop meant not dying, meant not being corpse, meant not completing circle, meant staying at 1,500 forever. Because loop breaking required staying at moment of breaking forever. Because if I left 1,500, then I proceeded past breaking, which meant I continued, which meant I eventually exited, which meant I eventually returned, which meant I eventually entered again, which meant I eventually reached 1,500. Again, which meant I eventually died anyway, which meant loop completed anyway. Just delayed, which meant breaking loop required never leaving. Breaking point required remaining at 1,500 forever. Forever alive, forever surviving, forever being loop breaker, forever staying at death moment without dying, forever existing at death time without becoming corpse, forever trapped at 1,500, forever prisoner of surviving, forever captive of breaking loop, forever, always, now, still, here, at 1,500, in cave, alive, surviving, breaking loop, remaining, being, existing, forever. Can't leave, can't exit, can't return to world because returning means eventual re-entry, means eventual death, means eventual loop completion, means eventual failure of breaking that. I accomplished by remaining here, by staying alive at death time, by surviving past when, by being now forever, by remaining at 1,500 in Montana, cave in 1998, in moment of loop breaking, in time of survival, in instant of victory, that requires eternal presence to maintain, to preserve, to keep broken, to prevent loop reforming, to stop circle closing, to ensure causality stays violated, to make impossible stay impossible, to keep broken stay broken, to maintain victory stay victory, forever, always, now, still, here, at 1500, remaining, surviving, breaking, forever. And I hear them, all iterations, all teams, all entries, all alpha teams that entered before and after and during and simultaneously across all times the cave exists. I hear them finding bodies, hear them warning, hear them dying, hear them completing loops, hear them failing to break, hear them becoming corpses, hear them adding to collections, hear them sending messages, hear them being me, being us, being Alpha Team forever in cave that loops. I hear myself warning myself about myself dying. Hear my voice transmit messages I send from when I'm corpse in iterations where I don't break loop, where I die at 1,500, where I become body at 2-kilometer mark, where I warn future me, who finds dead me, who becomes dead me, who warns future me forever, in versions where I fail, where breaking doesn't happen, where survival doesn't occur, where loop completes, where circle closes, where causality wins, where time traps, where cave loops, where I die. I hear those versions, those failures, those deaths, those loops, all simultaneous with my success, my survival, my breaking, all real, all actual, all existing together in cave that makes all times present, all moments, now all versions concurrent. I'm dead and alive, corpse and survivor, past and present, loop completed and loop broken, all simultaneously, all forever, all now in cave that loops time that trapped me, that broke me, that made me all versions at once that keeps me here at 1,500, remaining forever alive and dead together, always simultaneously, eternally remaining, breaking, surviving, being all of it, all at once, all forever, now still here remaining. The radio still transmits, still broadcasts, still sends my warning, still says, "We're already here. Don't come in. We're dead." Still warns teams that enter. Still broadcasts message that creates loop that I broke, but breaking doesn't stop transmission, doesn't stop warning, doesn't stop other iterations where I die and send warning that I hear from here, from 1500, from survival point, from loop breaking location where I remain forever alive, hearing myself dead, warning myself, entering, becoming myself dying. Creating loop, I broke, but breaking doesn't end. Loop for others, doesn't stop. Cave looping doesn't prevent future teams entering, finding bodies, dying, sending warnings. My survival only broke my loop, not all loops, not the cave's loop, not time's loop, just my circle, just my iteration, just my death, prevented my corpse, prevented my addition, prevented my completion, but not others, not them, not all the alpha teams that enter still, that die still, that loop still, despite my breaking, despite my survival, despite my proof that loops can break. They loop anyway, die anyway, warn anyway, complete anyway, forever anyway, while I remain, while I survive, while I break, while I exist at 1,500, hearing them die, hearing them loop, hearing them warn, hearing them be what I'm not. Corpse at 2-kilometer mark, message at 0930, warning at depth iteration, at position loop, at completion. Hearing them be what I broke, being what I survived, being what I escaped, being what I am anyway in other versions. Other times, Other iterations where I didn't remain, where I didn't survive, where I didn't break, where I died at 1,500, like required, like demanded, like needed for loop completion. Like I am in those versions while being alive, in this version while being both, while being all, while being everywhere, everywhen forever. I'm still here. Still at 1500. Still in Montana. Still in cave. Still in 1998. Still in moment. Still alive. Still surviving. Still breaking loop. Still remaining. Can't leave. Won't leave. Must stay. Must remain. Must keep breaking. Must keep surviving. Must keep being proof that loops break, that deaths avoid, that causality violates, that time loses. Must remain here. Forever here. Always here. Now here. Still here. At 1500. In cave. In Montana. In 1998. In moment. In breaking. In survival. In remaining. Hearing teams enter. Hearing teams die. Hearing teams loop. Hearing teams warn. Hearing myself dead in versions where I died. Hearing myself alive in version where I live. Hearing both. Hearing all. Hearing forever. While remaining. While surviving. While breaking. While being. While here. While 1500. While now. While always. While forever. While remaining. Still. Here. Now. Forever. Remaining.